Hey, what's up, guys? Tristan here, Soul Indigo. I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I wish I was pointing this GoPro at a bunch of cops in riot gear in a city in America right now. I'm feeling pretty helpless on this island and seeing things from afar. And I feel the only thing I can do is try to create awareness. And if you've been on my Facebook, been on my Instagram, I've been just blowing it up. My fingers hurt, my eyeballs hurt. I'm not bitching though, because it's not rubber bullets and pepper spray. Hopefully not real bullets. But where I'm at and how I feel like I can contribute is by hopefully laying out what is my truth. I've been working on a podcast. I've been recording some stuff and meeting with a construction guy tonight, just because we're in the process of starting to build a studio, and things escalated pretty quickly here. I need to speak up, and I feel I need to explain what I believe is going on, and my goal is to hopefully get everybody on the same team. We're at war. It's not cops versus Antifa, Black Lives Matter versus the Karens of the world. It's free civilization against a tyrant ruling class that has rigged a system and is using our patriotism, our respect for the badge and law enforcement, and tranquility, and also using our fear and anger and our lack of self-awareness against us. And it's all by design. Both the cops and the protesters are infiltrated. There are very much paid actors in opposition to instigate, agent provocateur. It's fucking hard to watch, man. It's hard to sit here and see videos of all the police brutality at the fucking police brutality protest, and it's hard to see friends of mine arguing with other friends and myself, and we're arguing over shit that they want us to argue about. And who's they? They're the fucking industrial elite, the bankers, ultimately they're a mafia. Obviously there's a ton of things to get into. I'm not going to do it. I was going to do a podcast on consciousness. I'll touch on it. It's a war on consciousness. It's a suppression of our mind and the vibrations in our body and our soul. What I mean by that is, when you keep people living in fear and keep them afraid of the boogeyman or the other guy or someone different, you keep them focused on things that maybe are not the entire picture. And what's the entire picture? There is a absolute agenda to divide and conquer, and to take over the United States of America, and to run the entire world. The New World Order. It's real. It's happening. It's both sides of our political establishment. It's very much a road that China and Hong Kong are going down. And that's the prototype right now. If you watch Hong Kong and how the police handle things and how Chinese government's handling things, that's what is happening in the U.S. Instigators starting these riots and discrediting the protests these rogue cops, and some of them are just bad people and just fuckheads, and the system protects them and their unions and their DAs and the, whatever. Like, obviously there's a lot of good cops. I know some. I'm friends with some. I've worked with some. I've worked in emergency services. I respect all those people in that job, but I cannot stand around and respect how fucking silent and how fucking militarized and combative and absolutely just anti-constitution. It's not who we are, and I understand there's very real consequences. We want our normal lives back, but it's not happening, guys. It's we're going through a great awakening. Things are getting worse. They're just being uncovered. And like I spoke about it in a previous podcast, and I mean these people funded Hitler and the Nazis, Ford Motor Company, DuPont, Chase Bank and J.P. Morgan, and all these just every name you probably heard of in the echelon of corporate and elite conversations. You can kind of throw them in that hat. These people have control of the CIA. They have control of a lot of our government, and they just kill off people. It doesn't matter. They hired Hitler basically. So come on, let's be real. Rubber bullets into a crowd, that's nothing for them. Posting up all these caches of bricks, right? Like it's all fucking theatrics. It's all designed to create this illusion of us versus them, and not us versus the elite. It's us, as in whoever you fucking identify with. What color your skin is, what do you like to do, what do you like to eat, it doesn't matter. It's my ego versus your ego. And an ego is just an identity. It's a mask, it's a character that we play, and that's where consciousness comes in. When we are trapped in this scarcity mentality, and we're all elbows out at the tables and competitive and gotta eat, gotta make my money, gotta buy shit. It keeps us in this lower vibration of consciousness. And what that does is, when you live in fear, it's all about power, right? Your ego needs control and power. And when you wake up and you explore your consciousness and you understand that this reality is not what it seems, you create your reality. I need to. It's hard to say a lot of this without going really into detail. Ultimately, this is when you're trapped in this materialistic, unfulfilling, I need more and more and more journey, you don't stop and really stay present. You don't stop and understand that everything's energy. Everything is a perception of our world. We see 1% of the energy in our world, called visible light. Everything's the electromagnetic spectrum, and so if you think about it, everything's just energy holding cells together, or repelling. It's a polarity thing. And how this works right now is we're in this current dimension or frequency or whatever that you want to call it. It's called third density by the law of one. And the planet is evolving into fourth density since 2012. And that is part of a lot of this shit show. We need to wake up, and you don't wake up unless you got to go through it. You got to struggle and start looking around and asking, why am I chasing these things? Why am I pursuing this never-ending thing that we know does not make you happy? And it's because we're programmed. We're suppressed into this ego-driven vibration. And when you realize everything is one and we're all connected and consciousness is one, and you start to look around and you see that there's no light without dark. So you have to learn to love and forgive and have compassion for that. And I know it's difficult, and I'm struggling with it right now. I'm not there. I am angry, and I'm just not there in my journey. You got to do the work, and all I can do is just try to point out what's going on and maybe a little bit of the solution. And I mean, I don't know what the fuck to do about these protests. You send in the military and try to protect people's properties, which is, I believe you have to do that. You have to. But at the same time, you can't send in these militarized fucks that, there's different levels, right? You send in the cops and whatnot. They're, between the police unions and the power that, the political power that comes down the pipe. I saw a video of, I wish I had his name right now. He got fired, straight up. He got fired for posting a social media video. His chief got a ton of support. It was right after this happened. It's on my Facebook page, and like I said, 5 hours later, the governor called the chief, and nixed it, and he stood his ground, and that's what we need. You're not, if you have 10 bad cops and 1,000 good cops, and 1,000 good cops don't stand up, you have 1,010 bad cops. And it's no different than on the protest side. If you have 10 rioters and they don't stand up and they don't hold people accountable for breaking shit, they're just as big of a problem, right? So it's having some self-awareness. It's having some emotional intelligence and understanding, I'm angry right now, but I'm not going to make things worse. And quite frankly, I'm very glad that I'm here right now, because I would probably make things worse. And all I can say is, if you can get to a point where you really see get to a point spiritually where you understand that there's nothing to fear, you get comfortable being uncomfortable, you realize death isn't death in the way that we kind of look at it now. You stop making decisions out of fear. You stop, you just wake up. That's all there's to it. And you can't see it until you see it. That's the hard thing. I can sit here and talk about banging a chick, but until you do it, it's just not, you can't understand it, right? There's a war on consciousness. That's why psychedelics are illegal. They're not dangerous. There are medical benefits, yet they're Schedule I drugs. And when people wake up, they stop chasing this materialistic bullshit, and these elites and the bankers, they don't get to control things, and they do so through debt and through advertisements and programming and Hollywood and Disney and all this shit. These people are, from a law of one perspective, they are ultimately they're trying to serve themselves. There's two polarities, negative and positive, to this thing. Yin yang, right? Masculine, feminine. It's wisdom and love. You're serving yourself or you're serving others. And I think there's you have to find a balance. But in order to move to fourth density, which is recognizing everything's one and loving everything, and that's in the heart, it's like the fourth chakra. It's all related. It's all fuck. The only thing I see as a solution is going within and understanding where do these impulses and drives and mindless decisions come from. And you realize that it's all childhood trauma and programming, and it's subconscious shit. You don't realize. You don't stop and ever ask questions, because that's society, right? It's just normal. But once you sort of step out of that world and you see something a little different, you really can understand the game that's being played with people's minds. I can't show people like what they don't want to see. So I'm not. This isn't for them, honestly. It's for the people that are a little bit confused, but they kind of understand that there's something maybe more going on. How we fix this is starving the beast. You escape the debt, and you escape the mindless, materialistic, unfulfilling pursuit of this bullshit. And the George Soroses of the world and all these corporate fat cats, they starve. And same with taxes. I'm openly saying don't pay taxes. They work for us, and they're using our money, our labor, to enslave us, right? It's simply about really asking yourself why. Purpose. What am I doing here? What's the point? If you haven't really stopped and asked yourself that, and like really, really checked in, it's something that none of this is going to get better until that happens. And it will happen, because everything evolves. We're all evolving. Consciousness is evolving. Everything's conscious around us, and it's going through an evolution. First density is the elements, the fire, water, wind, earth, right? It's the place of being. They just do what they do against each other, and they've created a world. It evolved in a way that eventually evolved into life, and that was second density. Things started gaining a little bit of awareness of their surroundings, plants and animals, right? And has some autonomy. It can move around. And then third density is self-awareness, and we humans are in that, where we have this ability to be aware of our future and our future imminent death, and that brings fear. My dog right here does not think about dying, right? And like in the future. So it doesn't. He doesn't live in fear. And when you can start to understand, and I just go watch the Law 1 videos on YouTube. Aaron Abke, I don't know his fucking name, but like you got to look at things on different levels, different altitudes. You know, us humans are at a certain level. They're octaves, and the Earth's at a level, and the solar system's at a level, and the galaxy's at a level, right? It's all energy. It's all light. Light from the sun hits the Earth, warms it. The water's not ice. The grass can grow, you know, because it's getting energy from the sun. So now we have food. It's all just light and electromagnetism and positive and negative. So in third density, we are at this point where we kind of have two paths, and we're blind to them, because we have this this veil of forgetting, is how they word it in Law of One, where you don't remember your past lives. You don't remember, it's hard to understand reincarnation, because we don't remember it until you start to raise your vibration. And when you raise your vibration to a level that is, you know, potentially you're almost to fourth density, you evolve. And we as a species cannot live on this planet in third density while the planet's going to be in fourth density. So as the planet evolves, we have to evolve with it. And there's something called the harvest, and it's where our souls and our consciousness is ultimately harvested, I guess. Is not the best term in a way. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but it's something that all you have to do is be either 95% negative is the numbers from Law 1. You have to be 95% negative to move on. Otherwise, you get to come back and you keep doing it again and again until you get there. And the flip side, that's the negative polarity. The flip side is the positive polarity, which is we need to be 51% loving everything as opposed to loving ourselves. And I don't even remember if I said 95% bad, 95% service of yourself. As we really start to assess ourselves and tune into ourselves and become, it's remembering is what it is. Remembering who you are. You are not your ego. You are not this character. You are not this body. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Right now, obviously the experience sucks dick. Change is hard. Lack of awareness is only going to make it harder. So it's about awareness. And all I can do is try to raise that awareness. The way this system's built is designed to keep us trapped so we continue to produce and consume as the system and the politics and the laws and the taxes all just siphon all of that production to the top. There's no other solution in my mind. You know, obviously there's the in the moment like negative stuff going on, but like I said, you create your own reality. And so if we as a society, as a culture, as a species can all raise our vibration, our reality all changes. And I believe we'll get there because we're moving on, we're moving with the earth. So obviously we can't continue in the service to self path because we're destroying our planet. Like, it doesn't work. And Mother Nature, Gaia, she's fighting back in many ways. These storms, these viruses, all this shit. But this thing is just a culmination. It's already played out. Like, it's scripted in a way. Like we think we have free will, but at the end of the day, your neurons fire in the way that they fire based on all of your previous experiences and your previous traumas and your previous programming and everything. So all you can do is be present in the moment and try to just take a step forward each moment. Each moment you tune in a little more. And as you do that, you start to get different pathways built in your brain, and you think differently, and you act differently, and you are more tuned in. And that's what we need. We need to tune in. We need to tune in ourselves. We need to tune into others. We need to understand that we're all one. Honestly, like, this shit wouldn't be happening if we all just sat down and had a big old mushroom trip. I can guarantee that. Like, that should be a requirement, honestly, for any sort of law enforcement, military. You know, like, I can't sit here and say that, like, we can't have that stuff. It's not anarchy. You know, maybe one day, I don't know. But it's baby steps, you know? So take this for what it's worth. I know it's scary. I know it's terrible. It sucks, and you're afraid of people that you love getting hurt, and the world that you know being gone in a way, different. I don't know. Humans don't like change. So, where I'm at is like I've spent a lot of time on myself, tuning in and becoming aware, and it's the wisdom part of the law of one, which is the fifth density. And as I become more self-aware, I've realized that I need to learn how to love everybody as one, you know? And that's where I'm shifting. I've been far over on the wisdom side, and my energy needs to go to the love side. And it's all about finding a balance and learning about yourself. So tune in, meditate, float, I go to the ice bath and sauna because you sit there and have to suffer a little bit and think, you got to be present and really just you tune in. You shift your consciousness and your vibration. I literally get out and I'm vibrating. And a float tank, same way. Psychedelics in a responsible manner, and there's all kinds of tools. That's what this Soul Indigo thing was really going to be about right away. I wanted to highlight these tools. I want to highlight this amazing community called the Soy here in Phuket. A lot of enlightened people, a lot of people that have spent time. They're here because something isn't working in the Western world, right? And a lot of them, obviously everyone's here for different reasons, but for the most part, everyone's here to better themselves in some way. And those people, especially those people that come float, are really ones that have spent a lot of time with themselves. And you can just, I don't want to say you can see it, like, in a way, I feel like a refereeing youth hockey again, where it's like, it's not that I'm above anybody, it's just that I have a different perspective of what's going on, and I'm like, I can see all these mites going around in a pack, and it's like, man, if you just wake up a little bit, like, one guy step away and ask for a pass, you're gone, right? So that's a little bit like, I'm not that far along on my journey. I'm like I said, I'm in the wisdom phase. I've just been spending a fuck ton of time learning and trying to find these tools for myself. And as this COVID thing started, I started to unveil the kind of how the finance and economics and the political world is aware and actively holding us down and suppressing our vibration. We can get through this, guys. We really can. I'm with you guys. I can't tell you how much I wish I was there. It's very, very tough to sit over here and feel kind of just on an island, pretty helpless. But I have a lot of comfort and faith and confidence that the positive will win. The fourth density is about love, so we'll get there. And I just hope that we can continue to show that. Hug the police officers. Police officers, take off your riot gear. It's about coming together. It's fucking petty shit. Zoom the fuck out. Look at us. Like, if you were looking at Earth, if you're those two Americans that just went up to space, and you're looking down at the Earth, it's called the overview effect. When you look back at the Earth, you realize we are one organism on this blue fucking spaceship, just hurtling through nothing. When you look at the Earth, when you look at the sun, you see a black background, not a blue one. That's a shift in perspective that you cannot replicate. And when you see that and you understand that, and I shouldn't say you can't replicate that, you can. I think somehow the float tank you could, and I'm confident that a certain amount of psychedelics will definitely do it for you. It's simple, but it's not easy. That's all there is to it. Put in the work, check in with yourselves, heal your own fucking shit, heal your own traumas, figure out where your drive and your mindset and where the way you think, the way you talk, the way you act, where does that come from? It's not who you are. It's some fucking character you're playing, and you can change that character. Just look at Jim Carrey. Him playing Andy Kaufman's proof. I could talk forever. Honestly, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna wish you guys peace, love, happiness, and ultimately, what Soul Indigo is here for is to try to assist in the process of finding fulfillment. And I really hope that we all stop and just take a good look around and I mean, arm yourself, protect yourself, love thy neighbor. There's a very, very negative force out there right now, and it's backs against the wall. There is there are a lot of very good people within our government and military that are doing what they can. This is what I believe, and I believe there is a battle going on, and I don't support Trump from a human perspective, but I do believe that he's trying to win this war. He's an outsider. He's the first dude since JFK, and we'll get there. We'll get there, guys. Be safe.